my name is Connie Chen, and I'm going to be talking about the opioid epidemic and why the current plan doesn't work. In the 90s, doctors began increasing prescriptions of opioids as painkillers after the FDA and pharmaceutical companies reassured the community that opioids were not addictive. However, this is not the case, and unfortunately, soon thousands were overdosing. Overdose rates quickly rose, and in 2017, Trump declared the opioid crisis a national public health emergency. How opioids work is that they bind to the opioid receptors on neurons in the brain to delay the pain signal. However, opioids can also bind to inhibitors that control the release of dopamine, a hormone that can stimulate a feeling of pleasure. The more opioids a person takes, the stronger his or her inhibitors become, and the more the person needs to take in order to feel the same rush. Soon that person is stuck in a never-ending cycle of addiction. So, what is our current plan? Well, according to the White House, as of October 2018, the Trump administration has secured $6 billion over a 2-year period in order to fight opioid abuse. Trump has also implemented a new plan called the Safer Prescribing Plan in order to curb overprescription. Now, what this plan does is it decreases prescription rate of opioids by 1/3 within 3 years. Trump has also promised to keep dangerous drugs out of the country by securing our waterways, our ports of entries, and our land borders against smuggling. Additionally, in 2018, Trump worked with Congress to pass the Support Act. What the Support Act does is it makes medical treatment for opioid addiction more widely available, and it also cracks down on illegal drugs. The courts have also taken action to end this crisis. In the case Oklahoma versus Johnson & Johnson, Judge Thad Balkman awarded the state of Oklahoma $465 million because of Johnson & Johnson's supposed overly aggressive marketing of opioids. In another case, 3 drug distributors and 1 opioid manufacturer agreed to pay $260 million in the form of cash payouts and donations of addiction treatments as a settlement to 2 Ohio counties. While this may sound all well and good, there are so many issues with the current plan that render it basically ineffective. The first issue is with funding. Trump's plan, in actuality, only adds tens of millions of dollars to the current budget. And while this may sound like a lot, it is nowhere near the $6 billion that he had originally proposed. And even in the court cases, while these drug companies are paying millions and millions of dollars, it is nowhere near the $17 billion that some experts have estimated is going to cost in order to end the opioid crisis. The second issue is with drug treatment centers. Drug treatment centers are incredibly scarce in America, and even when there is one nearby, half of them aren't properly equipped to deal with opioid addictions. Additionally, Trump has made cuts worth hundreds of billions of dollars to Medicare and Medicaid, both of which pay for more than 1/4 of all drug addiction treatments in the U.S. The third issue is with Trump's wall. Most illegal drugs come into the U.S. through legal ports of entry, not through illegal border crossings, as Trump is so convinced. So building a wall would literally accomplish nothing towards stopping the opioid crisis. So, what can be done to improve the situation? Well, for one, we need a long-term plan. Currently, most of our funds for the opioid crisis is either going to short-term goals or it has no plans at all. What we need is a long-term plan and an overall goal, something like the CARE Act by Representative Elijah Cummings and Senator Elizabeth Warren. And we need a ton of funding for those plans too. Second of all, we need to decrease prescriptions for opioids, and we need better treatment for opioid abuse, particularly more medication like methadone and buprenorphine. The opioid epidemic is claiming the lives of hundreds of thousands of people every single year. And something like this should be a national concern for all of us, no matter who we are or where we live.